Nature is always full of strange things that are sometimes hard to believe are real. Among millions of animal species, with all kinds of different colors, there are individuals that appear in a strangely pure white, standing out from their own kind, as if they came from another world. That rare appearance has made many albino animals the center of attention for both scientists and nature lovers. And right now, let us take a look at these animals below. Ranked at number 10, the albino Bidoop porcupine. The albino porcupine is an extremely rare individual once recorded at Bidoop Nui Ba National Park in Vietnam. Porcupines are mammals that mainly live in forests, mountainous areas, or places with dense bushes. Their food usually includes roots, tubers, wild fruits, and plants growing underground. Unlike the slow-moving appearance many people imagine, porcupines have an extremely special natural armor, with hundreds of stiff quills covering their bodies to protect themselves from predators. However, this special individual has albinism because its body lacks melanin, the pigment that gives color to the skin, fur, and eyes. This causes all of its fur and quills to turn white instead of the dark color seen in ordinary porcupines. This is also the rarest and most striking feature of this individual. Its white fur greatly reduces its ability to camouflage in the natural environment, making it easier for predators to spot. In addition, albino animals often have poor eyesight and have more difficulty adapting to light because they lack melanin to protect their eyes and skin. For that reason, albino porcupines in the wild are extremely rare and often struggle to survive for long. Ranked at number 9, the albino koala. The albino koala Onyabiri was an extremely rare individual once recorded at the San Diego Zoo in the United States. Koalas are iconic marsupials from Australia, famous for their gray fur, black nose, and diet made up mainly of eucalyptus leaves. However, in true albino individuals, the body lacks melanin pigment, causing the fur to turn white while the eyes and nose have a distinctive pinkish color. This is also what helps distinguish albino koalas from individuals that only have white fur but still have dark black eyes and noses. Although the white fur looks very special, it is a disadvantage in the wild because it reduces the animal's ability to blend into forest trees. In addition, because they lack protective pigment, the skin and eyes of albino koalas can also be affected by sunlight. For these reasons, most albino koalas have a hard time surviving to adulthood without human protection. Ranked at number 8, the albino deer. The albino deer is one of the rarest and most magical-looking creatures in the natural world. With an occurrence rate of only about 1 in 30,000 individuals, albino deer carry a recessive genetic mutation that prevents their bodies from producing tyrosinase, an essential enzyme needed to synthesize melanin pigment. This deficiency turns their entire bodies white, from their fur and skin to their hooves, combined with very distinctive reddish-pink eyes that set them apart from normal deer. However, this snow-white beauty is actually a major biological disadvantage, turning them into targets for predators, such as wolves or leopards, because they lose their ability to camouflage. At the same time, their vision is seriously impaired, and their skin is more vulnerable to sunburn and skin cancer when exposed to ultraviolet rays. Albino deer are also often rejected by their own herd because of their pure white color. Ranked at number 7, the albino cobra. The albino cobra is completely different from herbivorous or plant-eating animals. It still has the same deadly venom as normal individuals, and it remains dangerous to any prey, even though its eyesight is reduced. The defining feature of this reptile is its pure white or pale yellow scales, combined with reddish-pink eyes caused by a complete lack of melanin pigment. Unlike other animals that suffer from losing camouflage, the bright scale color of the albino cobra can sometimes make birds of prey fail to recognize it properly. Because it is extremely rare, the albino cobra is also highly valuable in the exotic pet trade, with each individual ranging from a few thousand to tens of thousands of United States dollars. Ranked at number 6, the albino tiger shark. Moving from land into the depths of the ocean, we come across an extremely rare genetic mutation, the albino tiger shark. This shark no longer has the gray striped skin typical of one of the ocean's fiercest predators. Instead, it has a uniform milky white color and pale pinkish eyes. The loss of its natural countershading, with a darker back and lighter belly, not only takes away its advantage in the wild, but also puts it at greater risk from killer whales. Because it lacks protective pigment, this shark's retina is less suited to environments with sunlight in shallow waters. As a result, it has to change the way it survives by relying more on its sense of smell and the electroreceptive system around its snout. This leads to an extremely low survival rate, and in harsh natural conditions, it rarely lives long enough to reach breeding age and pass on its genes. Ranked at number 5, the albino puma. The albino puma represents one of only 4 albino cougars ever recorded worldwide. This extremely rare recessive genetic mutation completely removes melanin pigment, replacing the usual tawny brown coat with snow-white fur, along with a pink nose and light-colored eyes. This genetic change brings the same biological consequences seen in many other albino animals, including severely reduced vision and skin that is easily damaged by sunlight. For an apex predator in particular, losing its natural camouflage is a major disadvantage in the wild. That is why, instead of facing a low chance of survival in nature, this special individual is now being cared for in good health into adulthood under strict human medical supervision, becoming a global symbol of wildlife conservation. Ranked at number 4, Claude, the albino American alligator. Claude, the albino American alligator, is one of the most famous albino alligators in the world. Claude was born at an alligator farm in Louisiana in the United States and is closely associated with the California Academy of Sciences. What makes Claude special is a recessive genetic mutation that gives him pure white skin and distinctive reddish-pink eyes. In ordinary American alligators, dark skin helps them blend more naturally into swamp environments, while Claude's white color reduces his natural camouflage advantage. As an adult, Claude is about 10 feet long, which is about 3 meters, weighs around 309 pounds, or about 140 kilograms, and has more than 70 teeth, giving him a truly unique appearance in the reptile world. Claude's 30-year lifespan is especially remarkable for an albino individual. After 2025, Claude was also mentioned as a pop culture symbol in the United States, with a street named after this special alligator. Ranked at number 3, the albino peacock. The albino peacock is one of the rarest ornamental birds found in nature. Its most striking feature is its pure white plumage stretching from head to tail, combined with very distinctive reddish-pink eyes, creating an appearance completely different from ordinary peacocks. Compared with more common peacocks, the biggest difference lies in color, which normally plays an important role in showing sexual traits and attracting mates during the breeding season. In albino peacocks, the single-color appearance makes this display much less diverse, and it cannot attract peahens as effectively as individuals with bright, colorful plumage. One notable point is that white peacocks are often confused with leucistic peacocks, a form that is more common in captivity. Leucistic individuals still have white feathers, but their eyes usually remain dark, such as black or deep blue, unlike true albino peacocks. Because of their extreme rarity and unique appearance, albino peacocks have become some of the most valuable ornamental birds in the exotic animal market, with prices ranging from a few thousand to more than 10,000 United States dollars for each individual bird. Ranked at number 2, Snowflake, the albino gorilla. Snowflake, the albino gorilla, was the only western lowland gorilla with albinism ever recorded in the history of global genetics, becoming a worldwide icon after being discovered in Equatorial Guinea. The biggest difference in this individual lies in its origin. When researchers analyzed Snowflake's genome, they found that his albinism came from inbreeding in previous generations. Specifically, 2 genetic lines carrying a recessive mutation came together in the same individual, leading to a complete change in pigmentation and forming his distinctive white fur and light-colored skin. This change also brought serious health problems, including skin cancer. Snowflake was also one of the individuals that lived to about 39 years old and was recorded to have 22 offspring in captivity. However, the albino trait did not appear in the next generation because it is a recessive genetic trait in the genome. Ranked at number 1, Migaloo, the albino humpback whale. Migaloo, the albino humpback whale, takes the number 1 spot as one of the most legendary and famous ocean creatures with a recessive genetic mutation in history, ever since he was discovered in 1991 in the waters of Byron Bay, Australia, carrying the meaningful name White Fella from the local Aboriginal community. This male whale has a uniquely pure white body, reaching up to 49 feet long, or about 15 meters, and weighing around 44 tons, which is about 40 metric tons, instead of the usual dark gray color of his species. This difference turned him into a global research and cultural icon, leading the Australian government to issue a special law banning boats from approaching him, in order to keep him absolutely safe. At present, this whale's existence is surrounded by a veil of mystery, as he has not been seen since his last recorded sighting in June 2020 in New South Wales. Although there are many concerning theories about possible biological incidents in the ocean, marine experts still believe this may simply be a natural change in his migration route, because his current age is only about halfway through the maximum lifespan of up to 80 years for humpback whales. The appearance of recessive genetic mutations in nature is both proof of biodiversity and a reminder of how harsh evolution can be. Behind that special appearance are many disadvantages in physical condition, vision, and survival ability in the wild. Even so, these individuals are still rare pieces of the puzzle, adding to the richness and mystery of the natural world. Whether they survive only briefly in the wild or are lucky enough to be protected under human care, these special individuals will always remain miraculous pieces of the natural world. If you enjoy fascinating discoveries about the animal kingdom, please hit subscribe so you do not miss the latest videos. Goodbye and see you next time.